Welcome to the UK OCR Community Podcast, presented by Obstacle Racing Media. Each episode, we'll be talking to race directors, elite runners, weekend warriors, and frankly, anyone else from the UK OCR scene that will talk to us. Here is your host, Alan, aka Muddy Duck.
Greetings, friends, acquaintances, and anyone else who just happens to be listening. Welcome to another edition of the UK OCR podcast with me, Alan. This week, we are going to be talking with several Tough Mudder ambassadors about a couple of Tough Mudder events that are coming up. Get their thoughts on them, see what's out there, and we'll give you some discount codes as well to use. But before I do that, I want to ask you a question. The UK OCR Awards are coming up on the 1st of March, and we can't have everyone attend, which is understandable, so we've kept a few seats back. But some of the contenders for the awards have currently not booked. Do you think we should have a podcast where we narrow it down to the top three? Now, I don't know if people are not booking, these people are not booking. I haven't reached out to them because I can't tell them that they've won. Or I can't tell them they've not won. So do you think it's worth us telling the top three in every category so that they can attend? Because I don't want to give the game away by giving the winners away. But I think maybe top three to attend. All you people listening, I know we've got quite a lot of people who listen. So if you're on the fence and you're thinking about, do I go, don't I go, I'm not going to win, I am going to win. I mean, you'd be surprised at some of the winners. Drop me a message. Tell me what you think. Should we announce next week on the Swift Half the top three in each category? Let me know. But back to today. Tough Mudder season is almost upon us. Lots of Tough Mudder events going off this year. We've got World's Toughest Mudder. We've got the Infinity in Yorkshire, which is part of both the UK OCR series and also Tough Mudder Yorkshire is part of the UK OCR series. Tough Mudder Infinity Yorkshire is part of the Endurance League. And then we've got Spartans and other things. So we'll get a few Spartan people on as well in future. But we're going to do a couple of episodes around Tough Mudder, what's happening at each event, with different people who tend to go to them all. So ambassadors. So we're going to get the ambassadors on and we'll talk to them all. So today we've got two. We are going to be talking about Tough Mudder Scotland. And we are going to be talking about Tough Mudder Midlands with two of the ambassadors. So without further ado, let's take it away. Richard Broughton, welcome to the UK OCR podcast, my friend. How's things?
All right, thank you. Busy day at work. For those that don't know, I work for Currys. I promote that. I work for Currys. I like who I work for. Yeah, busy. Looking forward to the season approaching. Bit of training.
We're getting very, very close. I mean, you are a bit of a Tough Mudder honk. I know you're an ambassador. I'm going to come on to that at this moment in time. But, I mean, we were just talking offline there. How many Holy Grails have you done?
I've just got my fourth last year. Yeah, I never achieved the mileage I want, though. So, but I still go through the process. I still love it. Still got a passion for it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many Tough Mudders in total have we done?
Well, there's a bone of contention with the headband count in there. If people count 5Ks or not. Over 100. Over 100. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an addiction. It's a disease.
And I mean, I can see, our listeners can't see, but I can see in the background we've got Tough Mudder headbands, medals, infinities, Holy Grail shields. I mean, your office, your little office there is absolutely full of Tough Mudder merchandise and things like that. And I mean, it's great to see. You mentioned earlier that you've recently purchased a new hat, that you've been on eBay and that, a nice Holy Grail hat.
Yeah, I think it's pretty rare, pretty exclusive. I don't think it's original merchandise, but it certainly looks it. It's well designed and well printed. So I'm a collectomaniac, unfortunately. I tend to collect things, and if I don't need them, I just want them. Yeah. So again, it's an illness.
What do your work colleagues at Currys think of it?
Well, I mean, in my environment, I know in the mudder world it's a bit different, but in my environment, I'm 55 this year. But later on in the year, I'm 55, and people of my age at work can't believe what we do. And I've got inspiration from older mudders, people like Mick Foy and James Brown, they're just absolute animals. Keep going. They're my inspiration, really. But yeah, the people at work can't believe what I do and how frequent I do it and how much I love it.
And that's always the key about loving it.
Yeah.
You got back into the ambassadorship this year. I mean, not as many, so a bit of a tough call for some people.
I think so. Yeah, I just threw my name in the ring, and yeah, I was lucky enough to get selected. There's plenty of people that I could choose above myself, but yeah, I was pretty fortunate. I don't know what ticked the box, but something did, so I'm pleased about that. Yeah, I love being an ambassador. And if you go on the Tough Mudder webpage, the UK one, and scroll to the bottom where it says "Become an Ambassador," you'll see me.
Nice one. Congratulations on it. Congratulations.
Thank you very
much. I've said all along, I'm shocked that Tough Mudder have reduced the ambassadors program this year in terms of the amount of ambassadors. I guess only time will tell if it's the right thing to do. But I do think it might be probably a tight-knit community for you guys this year. And I've been speaking to a couple of the ambassadors who have been there for quite a few years, and they have been saying that there's been people on the fringes that have not really interacted. So maybe only having 25 is going to bring you all together, and you can all share ideas and promote the brand. Great.
I think a few years ago, when there was about 80 or so, I don't know the exact number, there was a real passion for it, and yeah, people were still proud to become ambassadors. And I don't know, it's the season pass come along at such a bargain price that it kind of reduced the amount of people that needed to volunteer, and in turn the ambassador passion died a little bit, maybe, or they were too busy to be in both places at once. And I think that was a bit of a dwindle towards it, really. But I think people are still passionate, otherwise they wouldn't turn up and run
without
week
a doubt.
after week. Yeah,
without a doubt. And we brought you on today to talk Midlands. I mean, you live very close to Midlands, am I right?
Yeah. So if I ran to Beaver Castle, it'd be 7 miles from my front door. My friend Jo, who I run with, she's 3 miles. She's Bottisford. She's literally the other side of the A52. But yeah, I'm 7 miles. So if I want to do a 15-mile run, I run to the castle and back.
Oh, wow. You don't even have to drive there on race day. You can just jog there and little Tough Mudder around, a little jog home then.
I do have my pre-race toilet on my own toilet on the Midlands venue.
Yeah. So this year, I mean, Midlands comes on 5th and 6th. So it's one of the only, not the only Tough Mudder, it's one of the very few this year that are actually on 2 days. So we've got it over 2 days. That tells me that Midlands is popular. I've done it a few times. But this year, so normally on a Tough Mudder Midlands, I've run it about 5 times, I want to say 5 or 6 times. And the course is virtually always the same. Have you found that?
Up until last year, I think they changed it around a little bit, reversed a couple of things, changed a few obstacles. But I think it's just an all-round good venue. It's got plenty of elevation. When you least want it, it rocks up. It's got water. I mean, Swamp Stomp was legendary, really, through ETM going through the swamp at night. You know, night ops was a bit of fun. And then one year they introduced the lake, which was all slurry in the bottom, which I'm led to believe was goose poo. So every time you trod, you sank, and it was goose poo. And you had to get on the island in the middle. So you go to Midlands, you've got a bit of everything. You've got your elevation, you've got your scenery, you've got your water, and then obviously you've got some nice flat spots where you can run and gain some time back. But yeah, parking's close. It's an all-round good venue, and it's a nice location, centre of England, really.
Without a doubt. I mean, I'm looking on the Tough Mudder website. It says 40 minutes from Nottingham, 98 minutes from Birmingham, just over 2 hours from London. So it is nice and venue. I live up here in Barnsley. I want to say it's about an hour and 10-minute drive down there. Yep. It's not too far. So it's a great venue. It's sorted for everyone. You touched on there about the car parking. I've got to admit, when I go to Midlands, I find it one of the best venues for car parking in an event village. You know, big field, big event village. And when you're walking from that car park, and it's only, I would say we're walking less than half a mile. We're talking it's negligible, isn't it? Yeah.
If you go to the front and early, that's closer, obviously. But yeah, it's flat as well. You never really get anybody stuck in there like some of the venues when you've had a bit of rain. And it's nice and flat, and you get no trouble getting back out onto the A52, which takes you to the main motorways really. So yeah, it's good.
Exactly, and the event village is flat. I've never seen it that muddy where it's like underwater. We don't expect it to be muddy in July, but I've not seen where it's been that muddy either when I've been. So it just seems like a really good venue for an event.
Yeah. It's, like I say, it's nice and flat. There's plenty of space, and you get the sunshine out. And then the Saturday afternoon with the music going and the food vans and stuff, it's a festival vibe really. And you struggle to kick people out at the end of the day because they just want to sit down and chill out, a couple of drinks, with the headband on.
Too right. Let's quickly talk about the course, because like I say, I found it very similar every time I've ran. This last year I only ran the short course because I took my partner Paula out, and we only ran the short course this year, which was a bit different. So we missed a few of the obstacles out. But basically, you start off, you run up into those woods. We nearly always get hay bales or a crawl in them woods. Am I right in saying that? They've mixed it once or twice in that initial wood section.
You do now. You tend to go around the corner. You have an open spot, don't you, which the runners can break off if they want. The joggers can mediate in the middle, and then the walkers just bring up the rear. But you go around the corner, you got the hay bales that normally go uphill, and then you hang a left into the trails and stuff. But previously, instead of going left into the woods, you went right into the woods, and you was met with a bit of different terrain. So they have changed it over the years. They haven't kept it completely the same. Yeah.
And then a little bit after that, I know when you came out of that after the hay bales this year, you could have normally, but I've always gone left and gone into the big open field where there's quite a lot of obstacles. But this year they kept you right and took you further into the woods on the longer course.
Yeah. They historically you came down that track, but like I say, they've done a bit of reversal this year, last year over the several courses, and it's just nice to mix it up. It's familiar, but not what you expect, so it's good. We like that.
It is. And then we go into the big field where they have some of the water obstacles. They usually have block nests in there, funky monkey, hero walls.
They've had pitfall.
Yeah,
which then went on to Irish tables or hero walls. Yeah, after being covered in mud and soaking wet. Yeah,
that's right. And then after that, we tend to cross over. Sometimes you go through the deep section of a little swamp, or sometimes they take you around the outside, depending on where it is, before we go into what I call the elevation section. So we get a few more obstacles over there, but we tend to start to go uphill, don't we?
We do, yeah. They had I'm not sure if it was mudder or cargo, because they did one weekend after the other, and it was a cargo net uphill with a sandbag, and it was the same cargo net they used for mudder, but this one with Spartan you had a sandbag as well. But they usually do the TM sign on that hill, so there's plenty of elevation there. Yeah, it's horrible.
And then once you're right on the very, very top section, I mean, I've got to admit the views up there are to die for. If anyone wants to take the camera and put it into a jiffy bag and stay look after it safe, you can get some amazing photos of Beaver Castle up there, looking back over the top of the hill. Amazing views. Yeah,
they've got all the hounds and everything over there because there's big it's a big country estate, and it has shooting and stuff, and they've got hundreds of dogs which they use. I don't think they use them for hunting foxes now, but it's part of the estate, the hounds. And you can see all that. You can even hear it. Yeah, it's a great view, especially you get a nice day. Not hydrophobia. Gloop used to be on the top of that hill as well.
Yes, Gloop used to be on top of that hill. I think that they don't put it there now because of the winds, do they? They had a little incident with winds a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we haven't.
So they tend not to put it there.
Gloop hasn't been back since, unfortunately.
And then we got down to probably what I always think is one of the muddiest mudder miles going, because it's not like in. So when you do Yorkshire, to anyone who's done Yorkshire, it's a bit clayey, Yorkshire.
Yep.
But when you drop into Beaver Castle, it's just peat and muck.
Yeah, they still say that like Northwest was the best. It was the blackest mud. It was really dark and it was the best mud mile. But I think Midlands, if it's not on par, it's very close second. And we tackled that one weekend twice or maybe three times with ETM, and then the following week it was Spartan. And the Spartan boys didn't like it. They didn't like getting dirty, and they didn't like accepting help either, because it was the furrows were so deep, and eroded that you needed help to get out of them. And seeing a Spartan put his hand out for help, quite satisfying.
I like that. And then for me at Midlands, I think we get one of the best run-ins because you come back over the little bridge, you back right next to the car park, and you've got 4 or 5 obstacles that run you into the finish line, and it's great for spectators. Probably one of the best spectator routes, finish lines I can think of.
Yeah, you do get some spectators venturing down the course a bit further as well. So it is good for them, because if you want a good day out, you don't want to be, just isolated and not see what's going on. And you can probably meet your family or friends further down the field and see what they're up to. Yeah, nice big. And if you're a bit competitive and you're still running, it's a great finisher.
Exactly. Now, I ran the 5K last year, so I'm going to just quickly touch on the 5K. Have you run the 5K at Midlands, or do you just stay to the 15?
No, I think we do both when they're available.
Okay, so I ran the 5K last year, and I've got to admit, as a novice entry run, I thought it was great. You didn't go all the way up the hills. You stayed quite low. There was very much, it was obstacle heavy. I want to say we got like 12, 13 obstacles in 5K route, and it just seemed to be a great entry level event for anyone. So when anyone can do part run, that 5K route at Midlands was fantastic.
Yeah, I think whoever plans the course has got to be very strategic when they do it, because it's got to be challenging enough to warrant like a sense of achievement. If it's just an easy 5K and you're round and you've achieved, and you've just finished it almost. But if you've achieved going over the obstacles and you're a bit sore and you ache a bit at the end of it, and I think it has to be enough to draw you in for the bigger course.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, so if people start with that, you generally find that they come back.
Cool, I like that. If this year we just touched on it's after World's Toughest Mudder, so it's the week after World's Toughest Mudder. We're expecting World's Toughest Mudder to be all singing, all dancing, and to be the best toughest mudder we've ever seen in the UK. What do you think, in your opinion, we're going to potentially see at the Midlands then?
What do I think we'll see, or what would I like to see?
What would you like to see?
There's some variants on the obstacles. In Florida, there was a couple of nice twists and turns. Rope climb up a wall, and Stairway to Heaven was a bit different. We haven't seen it in the UK, and it wasn't at Worlds. Was a different version of Gloop, where it's a cylindrical rope ladder where you climb up the middle of it. So it's not a tube with a ladder. It's effectively a rope ladder that's tubular, and then you're up the middle, and then you climb over the top. A lot of people would like to see that. I think that'll be quite challenging on the legs, to get that up to the top of that. But yeah, their Arctic Enema is a bit different to ours. We boast that ours is harder or ours is better because we go down a slide. But when you do the American one and it's actually full of ice, that's quite a challenge mentally. Yeah.
I can bet it is.
Ice must be cheaper over there, a lot cheaper, because they use a lot more of it. It must be cheaper. I don't know.
Everything's cheaper over there at the moment, I think. Do you think we're going to get the remnants of some WTM obstacles though? Because I would like to see some. I'm going to admit, I think Tough Mudder have got an opportunity here to make Midlands, especially with a 2-day event, the week after WTM, to make a showcase event in the UK. Because we know WTM is going to bring new obstacles. We know they're going to bring the best in the world obstacles there. Having them carried over just for like a 15K or a 5K over a weekend, it could be the greatest Tough Mudder we've seen in a long time.
It's certainly an opportunity to showcase what we do to the Americans, because a lot of the Americans don't generally come over. We have a few that we're friends with, and they come over quite regularly. But to get the Grail and do Worlds, they've got to come to the UK, and I think it's an opportunity, especially with Beaver and the elevation and what we've got to offer. I think it's an opportunity really to show them how good we can be, and like you say, to showcase to the whole of Europe as well, or everybody who wants to come really, to showcase what we've got and what we're capable of, and then that'll be a nice platform for the following week. Definitely for anybody doing it, be good.
Yeah, I think so too. So around the Midlands area, around Beaver Castle, Grantham area, what our people can see if they want to come down and make a weekend of it? Is there somewhere close by for a pint and a bed and breakfast and things like that?
Yeah, Yeah, there's a few bits. There's in terms, I don't know where to start really. So Grantham used to be famous for having the most pubs, but it's not anymore. Gingerbread comes from Grantham.
Okay.
Isaac Newton from Grantham, well, from Beaver actually. His house is still available to go and it's a little museum, so that's close by to the castle actually. So that's Woolsthorpe by Beaver. You can venture there and have a nosy around there. We've got obviously Margaret Thatcher. We've now got a statue. Controversial. we're close to Nottingham, which has got the UK's only Hooters. I've never been to another Hooters. I've only been in that one, and apparently it's not very good, but it was all right for me. If you go to Lincoln, Lincoln is pretty underrated, really. You've got Lincoln Cathedral's home of the Magna Carta. That's quite a fascinating building. Yeah, that's worth a look. And Steep Hill, you've got to go up Steep Hill if you like your elevation. Yeah, Lincoln Castle. Yeah, there's lots to do in Nottingham. Obviously, you got Robin Hood, you got Sherwood Forest. So if people are staying a few days, get a hire car and go see some of it. It's going to be good.
Fantastic. Now, I know all you ambassadors, Richard, have got codes. What's your code, if anyone wants to book with your code?
I believe it's TM25 Richard. If you want to get out there, get booking. Yeah.
That's nice. What's it currently give you?
Currently 20% off. Yeah, everything apart from Worlds.
Everything apart from Worlds.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I booked my Worlds ticket this last week, so I'm going to Worlds. It's my ticket is booked for Worlds. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get the Holy Grail because I'm on holiday and when it goes down to the toughest at Southwest. So unfortunately, I can't make May. Otherwise, I'd be up for it. But we're definitely at the Worlds. We're definitely going to go and have some fun and see what we can get.
Good. See what it brings. I'm looking forward to some new stuff, new adventures, new challenges. Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Fantastic. And hopefully you might see me at Midlands the following week if I decide to go down. If I think they're going to go and put on the World's obstacles, I will be at Midlands on the 5th or the 6th of July to have a little, what they call it, a post-race run. I think post-race run into it.
Yeah. Recovery run.
Recovery run, that's it. Recovery run.
With that.
Richard, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
You're welcome. Hope you got what you needed from me.
Get your teeth into some science with a caffeine kick that works 3 times faster than gels, drinks, or pills. Caffeine bullets have been shown to boost your endurance by up to 6% and help reduce pain and fatigue so you can run faster for longer. Whether you're training for high rocks, OCR, or 5K or an ultra, caffeine bullets have your back. They'll help you train harder and push for that personal best. And here's the cool science part: buccal absorption. The caffeine is absorbed through your cheeks and gums as you chew, hitting your bloodstream in just 5 minutes. Perfect for getting that energy burst right when you need it. Ready to crush your next race? Use code UKOCR at checkout for 20% off and go smash your PB. Now, let's get back to the show.
Kevin, my friend, welcome back to the podcast. How are you?
Mr. Moore, good to see you, hear you, speak to you.
Seems ages ago. I can't remember the last time we were actually speaking. I bet the last time we saw each other must have been Europe's Toughest Mudder.
It was Europe's Toughest Mudder, and I was in the pit that day.
You was? And then since then you went over to the Worlds?
No, not in 23, no. Not in 24, sorry. I went over in 23, but in 24, it was a quiet year for me. Not many events. Had an operation in May on my knee, so I'm still recovering from that. So this year is the comeback year.
The comeback year, I like that. The comeback year. Great to see you've got an ambassadorship again.
Thank you very much.
Have cut down. Am I right in saying they've cut down? Me and Ian spoke about this today. They've cut down a little bit on the numbers. I'm sure there was more than that a few years. Yeah.
Yeah, there was close on 100 last year. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I can only kind of guess that it's going to be more manageable for the guys at Tough Mudder. I mean, to be honest with you, 100 of the Masters is, my opinion, overkill. I mean, it's great trying to get as many people to get the the brand awareness out there, but it's just it was kind of saturated. So bringing it down to, I think they've got 25 this year, which was an initial 15 ambassadors were auto-enrolled from last year's programme. 5 other ambassadors had to reapply, or from reapplication they got taken on as well. And then there's 5 new ambassadors, as far as I'm led to believe. So 25 in total.
It's great news. Great. I mean, great to see you there, and quite a few of his friends are still in there as well. So it's amazing. Let's talk about what we've got you on for, because we have got you on, as our listeners will know, we're doing a little bit of mini podcasts about Tough Mudder season and where it's going to be. And on the 7th of June, 2025, it's Scotland! Woo!
Yes, Tough Mudder Scotland is coming to Hopton House Estate, which is literally 15 minutes from my house.
Is that enough? Are you saying we can stop at your house? We can all, everyone from down south, which is everybody that we know about from you, could come up and stop at your house.
We'll have a street party.
Oh, how good would that be if everyone brought the caravans up, or the motorhomes, and just parked on your street?
I'd be the most unpopular person in the village.
Don't do it, folks. Don't do it. We're only joking. Hopetown Estate, new venue?
Hopton. Get it right, Alan.
Oh, not Hopetown then. Hopton.
No, Hopton.
Hopton.
I love how I'm getting it's all in the emphasis.
Oh, see, I'm looking at it, and it's Toun. See, my eyes are not great, so I was spelling it town, but out yes.
Hopton, yes.
Is it a great place, living so close by? What's it like?
Believe it or not, living so close, I've never been there. I've been in the surrounding area. I've walked along the beach that's very, very close by, but I've never actually been into the estate. But I do know from chatting with friends and friend of the show, Mr. Gemmell, it is a nice estate. There's lots and lots of things that can be done, depending on what Tough Mudder are allowed to do on site. There's lots and lots of variations and stuff that they can play about with.
Not normally when Scotland goes off, we do get a plethitude of obstacles, don't we? You know, I mean, there's a lot of obstacles comes up to Scotland when they put Scotland on. Hopefully.
I mean, more so this coming year, because we do have Tough Mudder Scotland on Saturday, and then we've actually got the Spartan trifecta on the Sunday. So hopefully there'll be a few more of the, shall we say, signature obstacles that are going to be there. And obviously, I don't know what's going to be there yet. I very much doubt that Tough Mudder know what's going to be there yet. But fingers crossed there's going to be more the larger signature obstacles there.
Yeah, and like I say, usually when Scotland is, I've been looking at the maps for the last few years and that, and you know, it seems to be like they bring the best to Scotland. You know, all the big obstacles get thrown up there. You know, in terms of, I'm thinking more like Block Ness. Block Ness have been there. Right?
Block Ness is always there. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately last year I think it was a bit of a muted event. There was the numbers were quite low last year. I think it was only a one-day event down at Drumlanrig Castle. Unfortunately, we didn't have the likes of Funky Monkey. That wasn't there. I'd be lying to say what else was there because I didn't actually run the course. I was out doing some ambassador stuff, but I didn't actually see what was on course. But as always, us Scots make the best of what we've got. And it'll be a great day, whatever we have.
Without a doubt, I'm convinced that you are going to actually have, or anyone goes up there is going to actually have an amazing day. I can't find the map for 2024, but I have got the map for 2023, and this is where I was taking a lot of it from. And 31 obstacles, when you see some of the other events are only just going over 22 and 23 obstacles, and that's where I was saying they tend to have a lot of obstacles. And the same as 2022, I can see there was like 30 obstacles.
There was a distinct difference in the amount of obstacles between 23 and 24 throughout the whole of the Tough Mudder event, or the events, sorry. They reduced the obstacle count quite drastically last year. for a variety of reasons. I'm led to believe volunteer numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can stick 30 odd obstacles onto a course, but if you've not got the volunteers to run them, they're going to not be safe. So,
Yeah.
and a lot of people might think it's down to a cost of not bringing those extra 10, 12 obstacles. Well, no, it's down to a safety thing as well. So,
completely agree with that. There's nothing worse than going to an event and running past an obstacle because they haven't got a volunteer to man it.
yeah. So
it is one of my pet hates, though.
yeah, so yeah. Last year through the whole of the Tough Mudder events, I do believe there was a drop in the obstacle count. So it was the same at Tough Mudder Scotland last year in 24.
Cool. What's it like to get there? So for anyone who's travelling, let's just say south of the border first, so anywhere south of the border, what's it like to get there to
Hopetoun Estate? Hopetoun Estate is literally 20 minutes from Edinburgh. 25 minutes maximum if you're driving in a car. There is a train station close by at South Queensferry. If you were to get the train to Queensferry, or I believe it's Dalmeny, it's maybe 45-minute walk if you were wanting to be crazy and walk that distance, or 5 minutes in a car if you get somebody to pick you up. You've got Edinburgh close by. Literally across the water, you've got Rosyth and Dunfermline, which is another. I believe Dunfermline's now a city. Used to be a town, but I'm sure it got renamed a city. I might be talking utter nonsense here, but I'm sure Mr. Gemmell will pick me up on this one. But I'm sure Dunfermline used to be the capital of Scotland.
right.
Yeah, and that's just literally where Hopetoun House Estate is. It's right on the River Forth, and it's just on the other side of the Forth, across the new Queensferry crossing bridge.
Okay, I've been across that bridge. That's an amazing bridge. So I did that a few years ago when I went up to Mactuff. So
Yes.
I stopped in Edinburgh and went across the bridge to Mactuff. So airport wise, you get quite easy to get the airport wise. Trains like you just say, if Queensferry. How big is South Queensferry? Would you be able to get a taxi from there if you got a train to South Queensferry? Would there be a taxi?
There'll be taxis.
Yeah.
South Queensferry is a sort of a very small town. It's got a really nice high street. It's very, very sort of heritage based. There's a lot of sort of traditional shops. What else have we got? There's a few nice hotels on the front, on the shore front. Close by as well, hotels wise, there's a big massive Dakota hotel, which is, if you were standing on the edge of Hopetoun Estate, you could see it literally within a mile of where the event is. So yeah, there's lots around about it within a short distance. There's,
cool.
Like I say, Edinburgh over the other side of the water. If you want to go there, like Dunfermline's probably the biggest place. After that, you've got small village Rosyth, Livingston as well, where I'm from. That's only sort of 15 minutes away from the event, 15-20 minutes. We've got shopping centres, lots and lots. We've got these new things, shopping centres up in Scotland as well.
It sounds a great place to actually make it a bit of a weekend job. Like you mentioned earlier on, you've got Tough Mudder on the Saturday, we've got Spartan on the Sunday. Stopping in somewhere like South Queensferry, like say it's got a high street, it's got little hotels, things like that. It sounds like very much a great place to go and stop and have a few extra days before or after and make a good little break of it.
Absolutely. And one thing that will please everybody as well, there's a lot less risk of midges up where it is now.
I've heard that was a problem with some of the play venues in Scotland in the past.
Especially down at Drumlanrig, if you had any sort of moisture and then a little bit of heat, oh my God, you were eaten alive. But don't get me wrong, there's midges everywhere in Scotland, but they're nowhere near the volume of what we had down in Drumlanrig.
So on race day as well, we've got two race distances. We've got the 15k, which is 20 plus obstacles, the 5k, which is 12 plus obstacles. Funnily enough, there's no Infinity up there this year, which was I thought was a bit of a surprise.
To be honest, it surprised me as well. But again, it's one of those things. You know what I mean? I'm just glad to have an event up in Scotland. That was the main thing for me. I mean, for a number of years, I've been calling out for them to be more centrally located in Scotland. Because I mean, Drumlanrig was a beautiful, beautiful venue. But it was so damn far away from everybody. It was actually closer to the border than it was to central Scotland, where the majority of the population is.
Yeah. I mean, this sounds like a great venue. Like I say, 30 minutes from Edinburgh, 50 minutes from Glasgow. I know I googled that earlier.
Yes.
It's right. It's right there, isn't it? It's right in the centre.
It's slap bang in the middle. I mean, you've got the links as well coming down from sort of Aberdeen, Dundee, Inverness, all those places on the sort of the east coast. Anywhere, it's right next to the main sort of north south Scotland road, the A9, M9.
Do you have a motorways up there? I didn't know you had motorways up there. M9.
Some of them have even got 3 lanes.
Oh wow! I like that. Are you going to be fit enough to run? I hope you're going to be fit enough to run.
That is the plan. Yes, I'm currently working my way back to fitness along with physio and a trainer. So yes, I'm hoping to be there. I'm actually hoping to be at Worlds as well, running and slaying some demons I had from previous Worlds.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully I will see you there, because that is my aim as well. Have you got your? I know you're an ambassador. We mentioned earlier. Have you got your ambassador code yet? Because I know they're about to come out.
They are out. Yes, we do have them. We actually got them before the turn of the year. Just when the sent out before they sent out the list online, we had them sent out to us in an email. So yes, I do have that. Would you like it?
Yes, please, sir.
Fabulous. It is T for Tango, M for Mike, B for Bravo, A for Alpha, 2025, then a wee dash, and then my name, Kevin. TMBA 25 Kevin. Dash Kevin.
Fantastic. So if any of our listeners are going to go up to Scotland, yeah, I know you're going to use whoever's code you've got, but please use Kevin's. He's worked hard to get his ambassadorship back this year. He'll see you on the course. Pop and say hi to him. He's also part of, is it Mud Hose and Bros?
Mud Bros, Mud Hose, yes. That's been my team for a number of years. Started that back in, what was it, 2016? Yeah, so
wow.
That was...
Will there be a big group of you going from them?
There will be people there. As to how many, I am unsure. It's more of a teamwork that sort of, you do you. We'll be there for you if you need us to be there for you. Yeah, we'll be there. As to how many, I'm not sure. Everybody's a mud bro and mud hole.
Exactly. Kevin, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure. One last time, what's that code again?
It is TMBA 25-Kevin.
Goes with us. Thank you very much, Kevin. It's much appreciated, and hopefully we'll see you in Scotland soon.
Thank you very much, Alan. See you all soon.
So there you go. That's another edition. Only a short one, this one. A quick one. Bit faster than the Swift Half, and the Swift Half is supposed to be quick. But that's the podcast for this week. As I said earlier on, let me know. Hit me up. You know my email address, admin@ukocr.com. Drop me a message on Instagram or on Facebook or any of them, and let me know if you want me to let you know the top 3 of the awards. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and keep on running. See you all soon. Bye.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I die.
Thank you for listening to the UKOCR podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening to our podcast today. If you like what we do, please think about joining our Patreon. It only costs £2 a month, and it goes to help supporting us to put these podcasts on. Or, if you fancy a one-off payment, just buy us a beer. The links to both are in the description. In the meantime, you stay safe and you keep on running, everyone, and I'm sure we'll see you on the course soon. Take care. Bye.